Imagine a land sealed from the outside world by a communist regime, but now at peace and open to exploration. Mired by a history of state control, the streets now resonate with the march of progress. Beneath the chaos lies a unique place where ancient and modern meet, creating a kaleidoscope of culture. An ultimate destination, Vietnam. The journey begins here, early morning in Vietnam's capital city, Hanoi. Like its skyline, this city is on the rise. Communism is slowly giving way to capitalism. Today, with a population of nearly 80 million people, it's the 13th most populated country on Earth. But progress is slow. Vietnam's complex colonial and communist heritage has shaped a unique culture. A gathering of pilgrims come to pay their respects to the past, here to visit the mausoleum of their former president. Ho Chi Minh founded the Vietnamese Communist Party in 1946, liberating the country from French occupation. His presidency lasted for over 20 years, until his death in 1969. Thousands still pay their respects to this celebrated icon. The president requested a simple tomb upon his death, but instead was laid to rest in a grand palace, the people's monument to his life's work. The imperialists are long gone, but their austere French buildings remain, a European touch in an Oriental city. In the past, red tape has held foreigners at bay, creating difficulties for outside investment in Vietnam's capital. But today, the floodgates have opened. Now, interest pours in from across the globe, revitalizing the tired economy. For the cycle rickshaws, it's boom time. For just $2 an hour, they ferry sightseeing tourists around the city's old quarter. With over 1,000 years of history, the ancient city offers a window on life, little changed for centuries. Hanoi's craft guilds established in the 13th century are still in operation today. But the tide of change constantly remodels the landscape. The face masks look imposing, but the real danger comes from the air they keep out. With over 8 million motorbikes on Hanoi's roads, pollution is a serious health threat. Progress comes at a price. The law here requires helmets to be worn, although you wouldn't know looking at the roads. The eternal rush hour of Hanoi. The streets appear anarchic, but this is organized chaos. Biking offers low-cost transport to tour the city, although it's not for the faint-hearted. For the more adventurous, a biking trip to the mountains exposes a new side to an ultimate journey. Now, biker guides hit the Hanoi Highway. Meet the Minsk Motorcycle Club. A collective of guys and gals with a passion for Russian Minsk motorbikes and the thrill of riding Vietnam. The perfect guides to take us off the beaten track. An inspection is vital before any journey can begin. No antiquated Minsk bike can survive the roads without the touch of a good mechanic. Quan is the Minsk doctor. Without his expertise, the team would be sunk. These bikes date to the late 60s, the days of Brezhnev, so they need to be handled carefully. But these die-hard fans know their bikes inside out. Bike club member Tran Tan Tuan explains why.
Well, we found Kun 6 years ago, and he was his workshop was 30k out of Hanoi, and we were asking around who people know very good mechanics for Minsk, and they all point to him. And one day we all went out there to look for him, and it turned out he's one of the musicians of Minsk.
Australian Digby Greenall is another huge fan of the tough but simple and economic bikes. These bikes are green-lighted and good to go. Just time to have one for the road at one of Hanoi's many sidewalk bars. Simple, down-to-earth, a great way to soak up city atmosphere and soak up one of the city's specialty fresh beers.
Okay, this is called Beer Hoy. It's brewed this morning. They serve it directly, there's no gas. It only costs 2,000 dong a glass, which roughly means about 15 cents US. So if I drink 10 of these, it's going to cost me $1.50. That's not too bad. So, it's great.
Yeah, not too bad at all.
Minsk expeditions are the ideal way of escaping the chaos and clamour of Hanoi. As the sun sets, the team dream of the open road. Next morning, they leave the stresses of the city behind and head for the hills close to the Thai border. Their expeditions don't always run according to plan. Though durable, the Minsk is partial to the odd hiccup. Here, patience is a necessary virtue. Luckily, their simple design makes the bikes quite easy to fix, as Steve explains.
If anything wrong with my Minsk, this is the first thing you gotta check, the spark plug. So you gotta carry about 10 of these with you, even driving 300 kilometers.
Bikes are not just toys for the boys. There are female Minsk roadies too. T. Mai is their biggest fan.
These guys all carry cute girls on the back, so I'm jealous. This is my baby.
And what a baby. 2 hours out of Hanoi, and the views are breathtaking.
Okay, we're really lucky in this country because we're blessed with this stuff called karst. It's all this limestone mountains, so it's all this funny mountains like this. We're going to have more when we go up to the top of the mountain. There's much more on the other side.
Although the Vietnamese are fiercely protective of their independence and sovereignty, they welcome visitors. Despite a checkered past, today they are welcomed as guests, not conquerors. The Minsk Motorcycle Club run excursions around the country, sometimes just day trips, but also on long-haul adventures, say to the Chinese border. Regular breakdowns are all part of the excitement, sometimes causing parties to get separated. Perhaps Steve's bike needed more attention than they thought, but that doesn't dampen his passion.
The engine blew up, mate. We lost the piston. We fried the bike on the hills. $26. Got this baby fixed. On the road, new piston, new engine. Straight out of Belarus. That's right. Well done. Survival. Thanks, Steve. Couldn't have done it without.
So these Minsks, the Vietnamese call them the Con Chow Za, which means the old buffalo. They just keep on going. All you got to do is put petrol and air and electricity. Lots of oil, of course, always helps. Not special two-stroke, not special, just normal from the engine, straight in, 5%, 10%, no problem. Especially his bike with the piston now. It's a bit smoky when we drive back. But yeah, they keep going. Always insist on genuine, high-quality Russian parts.
Minsk isn't fast, but in this subliminal landscape, it's well suited to the open country and its dirt tracks and steep hills. Only 2 hours from the seething metropolis is a rural idyll where tradition reigns. Tourism encourages international relationships, which in turn feed the country's industry. As the day draws to a close, the convoy reach their destination, a hill tribe village. For thousands of years, the people of Vietnam have made their living growing rice, and so tended to settle in lowland areas. The people of the hills are often treated with suspicion. But it seems throughout Vietnam that visitors are greeted with smiles and kindness.
Yeah, you can get a lot of people on a motorbike. It's much better than a public bus.
After the long, bumpy drive, everyone looks forward to a well-deserved break. First stop, the guest house. The bikers are greeted like old friends.
This is a small village called Ban Lac in the district of Mai Chau. They're all Thai people, they're hill tribe people. Same as Thailand, but they came here about 2,000 years ago. So actually, if you speak a little bit of Thai, it's similar. They speak like old Thai. And anyway, Mr. Bing, Mr. Hui, they're going to take care of us, and there's a cold beer waiting for me, so I've got to go.
100 hill tribes make up about 10% of Vietnam's 78 million strong population. Up here, the people enjoy relative independence from the mainstream. Ban Lac consists of about 70 houses built in traditional fashion. It's a favorite spot of Thi Mai.
Well, this is the traditional Thai steel house. So they're all like that, raised about like 2-3 meters. They make everything like the whole village participates in building houses.
Vietnam's ethnic groups originate from China, Laos and Cambodia. Many are thought to have settled here over 5,000 years ago, and cultural differences still survive. The 3 biker girls are invited to enjoy an exotic treat: rice cooked in a bamboo pole, a regional speciality that can't be found in the cities. The rice is eaten like a banana, held in place with the bamboo skin.
But we must to keep the skin from the bamboo. It's more tasty.
Spiced with a mixture of peanuts and salt, the dish is well received.
Wonderful.
But it's just a taste of things to come. One of the highlights of Vietnam is its amazing cuisine. There are around 500 traditional dishes and some pretty potent drinks.
Here we've got a special Thai liquor. This is a plain white rice liquor, obviously distilled from rice. The percentage is about 30%. It's very common in all social events to share a glass together or share an extremely large number of glasses together and enjoy.
Eating is always a communal experience in Vietnam, at the heart of family life. Next morning, the bikers set off on their return to the city. Three-quarters of Vietnam's 330,000 square kilometers are dotted with dramatic hills and mountain ranges. At their feet, agriculture provides a living for 90% of the people. But for the Minsk Motorcycle Club, it will always be a heavenly escape from the chaos of Hanoi.
One of the best things about living in Hanoi, of course, is that we're only 3 hours away from it, and yet we're in this beautiful place. Laos is just down there. The Ho Chi Minh Trail is just over there. We can go up to Dien Bien Phu just over there. And the best way to do it is on these little bikes, because as you've seen, everybody else on the countryside is driving them.
Decades of isolation have made Vietnam one of the poorest countries in the world. An average year's wage comes to around $300. But slowly the tides are turning. With the collapse of the Soviet Union, Vietnam lost its main trade partner and was forced to open its doors to the outside world. Hard work and diligence have now made it the third largest exporter of rice in the world. "70% of the country's population are involved in the production of rice. Many still irrigate and plant by hand. Their conical hats as much an icon of Vietnam as the paddy fields in which they work. A change in the regime meant that from the late 1980s, the country was able to export rice globally for the first time, intensifying production. The Vietnamese are renowned for their relaxed, friendly attitude towards life and their infectious happiness. It's customary to greet passers-by with a smile and a pleasant exchange. Dan is intrigued by the pipe of Ju Tuk Lao. Speaking Vietnamese perfectly, he asks to try it. It looks exotic, but it's just a nicotine kick.
This is one smoke with one bowl of tobacco. It's very strong, mind you. Best to smoke with matches, so no gas. And then it's a bit difficult to talk. Go in, yeah. Go in there, go in. Go in.
Okay, let's go.
Meeting these amazing people, enjoying an awe-inspiring landscape, it's all part of the unique experience of the Minsk expeditions.
In Minsk we trust! More than just a machine.
Nightfall, and back to Hanoi, picking up the pace on four-track city highways. Even though the team know the city well, there are always new surprises. Tonight, they're going to experience something completely new, something you won't find in a tourist guide.
So this is my best friend Marcus. I met Marcus in a mechanic a long time ago and we did all our first rides together. Marcus has been telling me for ages that we should try some special food here in Hanoi, a specialty of the place actually. I'm not too keen, but let's have a go at the dog restaurant.
All right, let's go.
I've been here for 10 years, but this is the first time I've ever been to dogs, so it's not really my thing, to be honest. But I'll have a taste, maybe.
Mit bonen.
It's not possible. It's not possible. Yeah, more cucumber, please.
Eating dogs isn't widespread in Vietnam. It's a northern speciality, believed to bring good luck. An example of the country's unique and diverse cuisine. The bikers decide to abandon a culinary adventure in favor of some Hanoi nightlife. As the city becomes more affluent, Minsk are becoming a rare breed. Today, mopeds replace them as the ultimate status symbol.
Okay, this is what rich people drive. This is a rich Vietnamese family.
Yeah?
This one. That's $7,000.
Well, we had a smooth ride back into town today. No problems, bike's all good. A little bit cold on the way back, so we decided to get back in, chill out, a couple of cold beers. Steve and Hua are playing in a band tonight, so we're going to go in and see what's happening. Come on.
Minsk and music, the perfect combination for this crowd. Vietnam holds many surprises, and this time, it's rock and roll. Few destinations could offer such dramatic contrasts. From the chaos and clutter of city life, it's an easy step to spectacular countryside. A treasure trove lies 150 kilometers east of Hanoi, the stunning Halong Bay. Legend has it that the 3,000 limestone islands were carved out by a great dragon, the Tarasque. In fact, Halong means where the dragon descends into the sea. Even today, sightings of a mysterious marine creature persist. The Emerald Paradise can be explored by traditional junk. Glimpses of Vietnam's version of the Loch Ness Monster are few and far between, but there are plenty of other attractions. Besides the breathtaking vistas, the bay is lined with spectacular caves, their vast domes creating an otherworldly environment to explore. The limestone grottos also offer a cool escape from the hot summer sun, when temperatures outside can reach 35 degrees centigrade. Over millions of years, lime-saturated water has formed bizarre stalagmites and stalactites. It's easy to see where local beliefs may have originated. With a little imagination, the shapes of dragons seem to rise from the rocky formations. Vietnam has 3,500 kilometers of coastline, a myriad of idyllic beaches and bays. Further south still, nestled on the coast of the South China Sea, the sleepy fishing harbor of Nha Trang. Fishing has been the lifeblood of the community for centuries. As have the lacquered basket boats. Woven from bamboo and lined with tar, their operation is a unique, if haphazard, skill. From the South China Sea to the Mekong Delta, Vietnam offers a rich tropical landscape. The third largest estuary in the world, the waters here began life in the Tibetan Highland Plateau, 4,500 kilometers away. The Vietnamese name for the delta is Cu Long, meaning 9 dragons, for the 9 mouths that terminate the flow of this great river as it's absorbed by the sea. The delta is vast, covering an area close to the size of Holland. Its 40,000 square kilometers are a labyrinth of waterways and rivers. This most fertile region in the country produces enough rice to feed half of Vietnam's 80 million population. All the riches of the delta find their way to the local markets. With no refrigeration, it's vital the goods are sold quickly. And the nimble fingers of the market women quickly process the day's catch. Markets are a woman's world in Vietnam. The men catch the fish, harvest the fields, and the women exchange the money. But like most parts of rural Asia, Vietnamese women are given plenty of work but little authority. It's the men who will be going to the bank. The market is their arena where they can enjoy each other's company, gossip and shop. The market can hold some unexpected ingredients. Snakes, fermented in alcohol, are believed to produce a life-enhancing tonic. The more venomous the snake, the more potent the tonic. It's so customary here that even children, who might otherwise shy away from them, handle snakes with confidence. Laws controlling the capture and sale of snakes have made the meat a rarity, but certain species are still available on a limited basis. And there is one cart that is valued above all else. Fresh snake blood and its still beating heart are the ultimate delicacy. The rest of the meat will be served and eaten as part of a meal. Vietnam is full of extremes, and nowhere is this more evident than in the south. Officially named Ho Chi Minh City, this sprawling metropolis still goes by the name of its central district, Saigon. Along the riverbanks, people ply their trades as they've done for centuries. But today, they work in the shadow of skyscrapers. Saigon is Vietnam's city of dreams, and every month, thousands flock here in the hope of a better life. As the country opens its doors to the outside world, business booms, and the docks are set to get busier. A symbol of Vietnam's progress, the docks now handle up to 24 million tons of general cargo a year. With a population of 7 million, it's the largest and fastest growing city in the country. Almost half its residents get by on trusty mopeds. Every day, thousands are ferried across the river to work, ever ready to feed a flourishing economy. The city is the hub of Vietnam's manufacturing trade and home to over a quarter of its major businesses. The pace of progress is fast in Saigon. Yet, the city retains a healthy mixture of past and present, a melting pot where East meets West. Built by the French in 1891, Saigon's central post office is the largest in Vietnam. Located next to the city's Notre Dame Cathedral, it's a far cry from traditional Asia, with glass canopy and iron framework, a classical European design. Vo Vinam is Vietnam's own form of martial arts. A blend of karate, kung fu and taekwondo, it was developed as a weapon against foreign invaders. Today, Loan teaches the art at a Saigon school. Endurance, discipline and fairness are the basics. Loan herself was already a top fighter by her late teens. Now, at 22, she's a master.
I like coaching the kids because it keeps them healthy, particularly when they are at a young age. Voivinam is a great way of doing that. But when I'm not teaching, I work as a Voivinam master for the army.
For the military, Voivinam was a deadly weapon. War veterans Nguyen, Phan and Chin were masters deployed to target the enemy during the Vietnam War. While the Americans waged war from the air, on the ground, Voivinam fighters worked with deadly precision. In the aftermath of battle, they overpowered isolated enemy soldiers in swift and soundless attacks. By gathering up prisoners of war, Voivinam created a powerful bargaining tool. There are always two sides to any story. The POWs no doubt wouldn't see it this way, but for the Voivinam fighters, the pursuit of peace has always been behind their actions. Voivinam not only challenged former enemies, but also Vietnamese rulers. So until the country opened up in 1986, the art was reserved for politicians and soldiers. Today, the power and precision of Loan's movements are enjoyed as a sport rather than a weapon. And as a sport, it's very popular. Loan's training group is one of many that has spread across the world. The philosophy is to encourage a strong body and a rational mind, believing that an invincible spirit will follow. Discipline and courage are self-evident in the students. Jumping over 6 people is an example of the art at its highest level, the red belt, a culmination of hard training. From martial arts to marketing, Saigon is the city that sets trends. The bright lights of the city lure millions in search of fame and fortune. Like Truong Ngoc An, a top model and a well-known actress. She's a symbol of the Saigon dream. Truong Ngoc represents the modern thinking Vietnamese, anchored in tradition.
Welcome to Việt Advertising. This is my company, and here is the graphic design department.
Her creative team are masters of marketing.
Look, that's me.
Anne's success isn't just about her beauty. Recently, she was voted the country's top entrepreneur, and she employs the best creatives in the country.
I want to do my calendar, everything. Can you think of that concept?
Only 20 years ago, strict government controls would have made the entrepreneurial spirit taboo. But today, it's flying high. One Saigon speciality, fine textiles, adorn the city's many exclusive boutiques. The most prized garment, a handmade ao dai, a traditional dress which, like so much in Vietnam, embraces a modern touch.
This is my friend, Lee Sai Hùng, the best ao dai designer of Vietnam. He's been a really successful businessman, and he's already won a lot of prizes. I'm very proud that he designed an ao dai for me, so I'm going to try it on now.
A perfect fit. As one of the country's leading designers, Le Si Wang combines his art with good business sense.
My designs are inspired by my own ideas and by the textiles themselves. But even more important is the woman wearing the clothes, her personality, her shape, and her character. These qualities are the driving force behind the traditional áo dài.
The new dress takes center stage for Anne's next modeling assignment. Swiss photographer Stefan Behler has worked here for 2 years and loves it.
For me, Vietnam is a really wonderful country to work in. The models are easy to photograph. They are extremely professional. Compared to Europeans or Americans, there's something very different about the way they move in front of the camera. It's this mixture of Europe and Asia that makes the photography so interesting here.
When night falls on Saigon, this Euro-Asian mixture truly comes to life. With foreign interests flooding in, it's easy to see why some predict that within a few decades, Vietnam will be Asia's next economic tiger. Night presents the opportunity to start exploring the city's superb and diverse cuisine. The noodle stalls on every street corner are just the tip of the iceberg. A Vietnamese meal is a feast for the senses. Anything could end up on the menu. Even chicken feet are a delicacy. It's a culinary culture full of foreign influence. Chinese and French flavors fused with centuries of Vietnamese tradition. With goods produced locally, high quality is assured, and the presentation is exquisite. Eating is an event central to Vietnamese culture. The dishes have a unique flavor, largely due to a local speciality, a sauce made from fermented fish. With 2 major deltas and vast coastlines, seafood features high on the menu. First dinner, then music. The Saxon Art Club is the cream of the crop, hosting the finest jazz in town. Saxophonist Tran Man Tuan honed his skills in the US, but he's added a unique native twist. His extraordinary blend of jazz and Vietnamese folk has made him one of the country's hottest musicians. Vietnam is reinventing itself for the modern world, but clings diligently to its spiritual core. In Jat Lam Pagoda, a family have gathered for a funeral. For Buddhists, death is merely the start of a new journey through the cycle of life. Wearing traditional white, relatives pray that their loved one will not go into the next life empty-handed. To turn prayers into reality, they burn banknotes, a gesture symbolizing the soul's transition to a prosperous new life. Religion in Vietnam even embraces politics. In this arena of prayer, a quiet shrine to the iconic president, Ho Chi Minh. Like most Vietnamese, An makes regular visits to the temple, helping clarify her perspective on a fast-moving world. Following ancient custom, she prays that her deeds in life will be kind, bringing good karma to others. A small contribution helps maintain the temple.
Most of the people who visit the temple put some money into the donating box. It goes towards maintaining the building and making sure repairs are done and that it's kept clean and tidy.
Unlike most communist states, Vietnam has religious freedom. Christianity, Islam and Hinduism all making their mark. But for those who choose a monastic life, there is little or no financial support from the government. The monks are dependent on donations from the community. And they're held with the greatest respect. Like many Vietnamese, An leads a modern life, but her traditional beliefs give her strength to survive the challenges of an ever-changing world.
These are photos of our ancestors. People also hang these photos up in their homes. Every year they will be commemorated, and the family will make offerings and pray for them. It's a very old Vietnamese tradition.
And in keeping with tradition, An buys birds to release outside the temple, a gesture to bring good luck.
So as I let the birds free, I have to make a wish, and hopefully it will bring good luck.
In line with the country as a whole, An manages the balancing act between Buddha and business, between tradition and progress. As the country slowly opens its doors to the modern world, who knows what the future will hold? Vietnam is a country on the move. Its progress resembles this ultimate journey. Chaotic, energetic, and unstoppable. Vietnam.